Okay, so still on the concept of quadratic equation. Now we want to look at the sum and product of roots. At this point, we are taking it higher, but don't worry, I'm going to demystify it for you. So, sum and product of roots. First of all, I want you to recall we said that x is equals to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a as being the general formula for calculating any quadratic equation. Now don't forget there are two roots here, minus b plus the whole of this divided by 2a and minus b minus the whole of this divided by 2a. So we want to split those two roots. This time around, remember, I can say let this be x1 and x2. That is, let the first one x1 be minus b plus this over this, and x2 be minus b minus this over this. But instead of using x1 and x2, now I want to assume that the roots, or let's consider the roots to be alpha and beta, where alpha is for minus b plus this over this and beta is minus b minus this over this. Okay, so let's split it. That alpha is equals to minus b plus root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, and then beta is minus b minus root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, we want to talk about the sum and product of the roots. In other words, but okay, before I do that, let me also say this, that this b squared minus 4ac, which is inside the square root sign, is called the discriminant. So the discriminant d is always b squared minus 4ac. This. Some authors may use the denotation to be changed, which is equal to, but however, what is most important is defining what this d is, which is the discriminant. This discriminant, this d, discriminates the types of root, that is, it differentiates the types of roots of a quadratic. We'll get there. Alright, having said that, let us find the sum of the roots alpha plus beta. Alpha plus beta. Now, what is alpha plus beta? It simply means I am going to add these two roots together. Now, instead of me to be going along with minus b plus square root of b squared minus 4ac, I can reduce it to minus b plus root. Instead of b squared minus 4ac, I can use d, which is the discriminant, divided by 2a. So that's what I'm going to reduce it to. So that means alpha plus beta will be equals to, let's sum, what is alpha? Minus b plus root. Instead of b squared minus 4ac, remember that the b squared minus 4ac is denoted by d. So I will put d here, which is the discriminant, divided by 2a. Okay, that is alpha plus what is beta? Beta is minus b minus root d over 2a. That is representing this by d now, so I substitute d here. Okay, so that means that alpha plus beta is equals to, now remember in adding, this is fraction plus fraction. So you can see that the denominators are the same. So I will add the numerator, minus b plus root d plus minus b minus root d, everything divided by 2a, you pick one, 2a. So that alpha plus beta is equals to minus b minus b. You know, the coefficient here is -1 minus 1. That gives us -2. -2 what? B. So minus b minus b is -2b. Okay. Root d minus root d is 0, so it's gone. Divided by 2a, so that alpha plus beta is equals to 2 and 2 will go. I'm left with minus b over a. So this is the sum of roots. Anytime we're talking about sum of roots, this is what you must have at the back of your mind.
Mathematics.
For products, that is to say alpha beta, that is alpha times beta. Alpha times beta, what is alpha? Alpha is minus, this is equals to minus b plus root d divided by 2a, which is alpha, times beta. What is beta? Minus b minus root d, minus b minus root d divided by 2a, divided by 2a. So you are going to multiply. Now, this means that alpha beta is minus b times minus b. Minus times minus is plus, b times b, b squared. Minus b times minus root d. Minus minus is plus. B times root d is b root d. Finish, we move to the next one. Root d times minus b, that is minus b root d, root d. Okay, root d times minus root d, minus is here. Root d times root d is d. In other words, root d times root d. This is root d times d is d squared. So square will cancel square root. That's why we have d. Okay. Divided by 2a times 2a, 2 times 2, 4. A times a squared. Okay. Alpha beta will be equals to b squared. B root d minus b root d is gone, is 0. Then minus d all over 4a squared. Now, alpha beta will be equals to b squared minus. Now we know that d here is the discriminant. I wrote it somewhere. B is the B is always, D rather, the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac, which is represented by d, which is b squared minus 4ac. So now that I have d here, I'm going to bring in the value of d, which is b squared minus 4ac. So carry b squared minus 4ac and substitute in the place of d. I'm opening a bracket because it's more than one thing. So d here is b squared minus 4ac. Okay, everything then divided by 4a squared. Having gotten that, we now have this to be that alpha beta is equals to b squared minus times b squared is minus b squared. Minus times minus 4ac. Minus times minus is plus. Then 4ac plus 4ac divided by 4a squared. 4a squared. So that alpha beta is b squared minus b squared is gone. We are left with 4ac all over 4a squared. Okay, you can agree with me that 4 will cancel 4. So that alpha beta is 1a and 1a will go. So the numerator I'm left with c all over, the denominator I'm left with 1a because 1a has gone with 1a. So we have a. And this gives us the sum of roots. The product of roots. So in summary, this is what we are saying.
It's easy. It's quite easy. So this is what we are saying in summary. That whenever you are dealing with the sum of roots, alpha plus beta, don't forget that it is minus b over a. And whenever you are dealing with product of roots, it is c over a. Don't forget these two things as far as this subheading, sum and product of roots, is concerned. That alpha plus beta is minus b over a, and alpha beta, which is product of roots, is always equals to c over a. Never you forget. Okay, I'm going to also show us, anyway, I've seen some university past questions. They ask them to derive these things. But I want to show us another shorter way of still deriving this sum and product formula without going through the rigorous process. Let's see what I have. Now, if you can recall that the general form of a quadratic equation is always ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. Then you can also recall that there's a formula for forming a quadratic equation, which I showed us. X squared, okay, minus sum of roots x plus product of roots equals to 0. You can remember this formula when we were dealing with formation of quadratic equation. We equally use this formula to form a quadratic equation. Now, I can rewrite this formula like this, that this is x squared minus, remember we say sum of roots. And now we are saying that let the roots be alpha and beta. So, sum of roots, alpha plus beta. So, in the place of sum of roots, I am using the roots now to be alpha and beta. So, now let's sum this root, which is alpha plus beta, then x plus product of roots, that is alpha times beta, equals to 0. Okay, so I have been able to use symbols to represent this statement now. So we can have the quadratic formula x squared minus sum of roots x plus product of roots equals to 0. So I can use this the general form of a quadratic equation with this formula for forming a quadratic equation to still generate the sum and product of roots. How? If you divide through by a from this equation now divide through by a, you have this divided by a, you have x squared, plus divide through, you have b over a x plus c over a equals to 0. So what did I do? I divided through by the coefficient of x squared, which is a. If you divide through, you now discover that the coefficient of x squared is 1 and the coefficient of x squared is 1. So if you call this equation 1 and equation 2, you can now compare the two equations and then get what you want. Now let's find the sum of roots. Now what's the coefficient of x in equation 1? The coefficient of x is minus alpha plus beta, minus alpha plus beta. That's the coefficient of x, equals to, what's the coefficient of x in equation 2? That is b over a, b over a. So that means that alpha plus beta equals to, if you multiply through by a negative sign, negative times negative will be plus, equals to, that negative will now be here, multiplying this. So you have minus b over a, which is the same thing as what you have here. Now, look at the constant alpha beta. So alpha beta, which is the product, equals to, here the constant is c over a, which is c over a, which is the product, which is the same thing. You have the alpha beta equals to c over a. So that's still another way you can generate or derive this sum formula and product formula. Now, what do we use this for? We're going to see it in our next video. Let me say that will be the 8th video. See you then.